Let's see if this worked. Please work. I really hope I'm not live on my channel instead of the Titans channel. Hold on. No. Am I live? This is very confusing. Says I'm on air. What air am I on? Am I on Twitch? Hold on. Hang on. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. No. So where am I live right now? Hold on. There's people watching and there's comments, but I don't know where they're happening. Somebody text me. Hold on. I'm gonna figure this out. I got this. This is confusing. Oh, I'm live on Titans. Okay. Great. Ooh. That audio does not sound good, does it? That audio sounds very bad. Oh, man. And you can probably hear me coming through my own speakers. Alright. Hey guys, give me 1 second. I wanna fix this audio real quick because it doesn't sound good. Okay. Let's see here. Broadcast settings. Let's see here. Advanced settings. Audio settings. Does it sound like garbly-gook to you guys when you hear me talking? Is there a little bit garbly-gook? Is that just me? Is it just me? All good? Okay. So it sounds fine to you guys, huh? Okay. Okay, I guess we'll just get going then. If it sounds okay to you guys, we can just start playing some Minecraft. Hey, Grace. Oh, I guess I should. Do I have a bed? Where's my bed? I think I have a bed up here. There it is. I tried to jump into it. Okay. Let me make sure like everything's situated, and then I'll introduce you guys to my Minecraft world, and then I'll answer some questions. Really quickly. Minecraft, yes. Did I just fall in a pit? Yeah, I did. Okay. Minecraft indeed, Grace. Minecraft indeed. It's a good nonsense game that I could just play without having to think, so I can answer your guys' questions. I'm gonna real quick just check. The audio is kind of bugging me. I feel like there's something with the audio. I'm gonna real quick just devices. Let me see here. Audio device. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Okay, okay. Okay. Alright. I'm sorry you guys had to deal with all that. Alright. Okay, alright. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. This is my Minecraft world. I've been playing in this world for a good little while now. I am currently standing in a steadily deconstructed mountain. So I've been slowly, this thing was like much higher, and I've been slowly just chipping away at it to use it to kind of defend and reinforce my village, which is down here. So I found this village really early on. My spawn point's like right over there. I just decided to make it my village, so I've been trying to just slowly, as I play it, improve it. And I made this. I've got like infinite food at this point, and I made this big circular wall full of wheat fields that basically encompasses the entirety of my village. And then I just want to show you this because this is my little viewport onto my village. It's kind of nice. I like to get up here and look at what I've accomplished around my village. So I'm gonna eventually clean up all of the like kind of pathways, and I might level out a little bit more of it, and then I'll build bridges across these very dangerous jungles. One to that mountain, one over there, all that stuff. So that's my watermelon garden, which is it just made in a spiral. So that's kind of fun. I got a bed up here too. Okay, all right. So yeah, that's my village, and I got some sugar cane over there so I can make books. All right. That's my world. Oh, and there's a sunken ship over there. There's sunken ships. There's sunken ships everywhere. All right, guys, hit me with your questions. Hit me with any of those Titans of Altair questions you got. I'm here. I'll be here for a little while. I'm very happy to answer whatever questions you may have. Oh, really quickly, I'm going to send the word out on the Facebook and the Twitter. Publish there. Let everybody know we're hanging out here, playing some games. Yeah. Ooh, a port. That's a great idea. Adding a port to the... I got the water right over here. I've been thinking about slowly and methodically excavating. Excavating? What's up, Jonathan Suda? Who all do we have here in the... We got Grace, Taylor, Squink, Gingerbread 194. Hey guys. Welcome to the stream. Just listened to the new episode a few hours ago. It was really good. I'm glad you liked it. Hey, Amelia, what's up? So, oh, I should probably also tell the Discord, the patron Discord. We're live. Okay. So, I hope the stream is working for everyone. N-A-O-V-V-N-A-O-N-A-O-Villy. I'm sorry for butchering your name. Oh, Quietage, right on. Well, welcome, guys. This is fun. I want to do... I just know, just out of just general understanding of audiences and things, that these live streams will only ever get just a fraction of people that follow us on our social media platforms and listen to the episodes in general. But I personally really enjoy getting time with you guys live and getting to like answer your questions. So hopefully we'll do this a little more frequently. Probably not like on a very regular basis, but when I have time, I think these are great things to just kind of sit down and I can answer any questions you guys might have about the show. Oh, I just ruined that block. And yeah. Eating some truffles. And that is correct. Oh, we got Aaron. Aaron's in the chat, everybody. Aaron, who plays Winnie, everyone's favorite little gnome wizard. So she's the best. Love you, Aaron. So glad you're here. Awesome. Oh, and Craig made it. Craig, our friend from the UK. I like to call him Sir Craig of the UK. He's I didn't think you're going to be awake, man. It must be like 2,500 where you're at. I really don't understand the way you describe time. I'm very sorry for that. So I guess I'm gonna do a mundane task for a little bit, just so I can catch any questions you guys might have. I don't want to be like running away from zombies and stuff. If I want to be answering your guys' questions. So yes, gush over Winnie, please, guys. Gush as much as you like about Winnie. She's freaking awesome, and I think Aaron's doing a great job playing that little wonderful gnome. Worth gushing over, in my most humblest opinion. I feel like we freaking struck gold with our cast. I absolutely love it. And I mean, they're my family, so it's like I'm sure I'm biased, but come on. How could I not be biased about that awesome group of people? All right. Well, I guess if Aaron's going to stick around, you're welcome to ask questions to me as the Dungeon Master or about the world, or you're definitely welcome to ask Aaron questions if she's going to stick around and willing to answer some of them. Okay, one of my favorite things I see is when someone says a character reminded me of somebody. It reminds you of another character from a show or a person you know in real life, or I think those moments are those kind of statements, in my opinion, are incredible compliments, because you're basically validating the reality of that character, which sounds like there's probably a simpler way to say that, but you're confirming that that character feels real, that it feels like characters you've seen before, and something that you can relate to and see something of yourself in, even if it's someone else you know. That kind of stuff's really encouraging. Love that. Gnomes are amazing. First question. Yes. Questions. Bring them. What kind of questions are up for grabs? Any topic or focus on Titans? I mean, you're welcome to ask whatever you want. I'll answer whatever questions you throw at me. But I just assume people would want to ask Titans questions. And definitely, I'm gonna do my best not to spoil anything. Okay, let me asterisk everyone. If you have not watched the latest episode, let me know, because if we're asking questions about the latest episode, you'll get a chance of. I'll just say right now, if you're not caught up, there's going to be a chance you'll get something spoiled in this Q&A, just because I'm not going to be able to really guard against where everyone's at in the show. But that said, I won't spoil anything that hasn't come out yet. So I'm not gonna dump any secrets on you guys. But there's plenty of like lore and stuff that if you guys want to know about, I'm happy to answer. I'm not gonna like hold everything in my world as secret. So yeah, I'd say pretty much anything's up for debate, or up for grabs. Oh, Cass, you're too kind. But yeah, I'll do my best not to spoil the latest episode. I don't think. Oh well, there's quite a. I would say anyone who's listened to episode 8 probably has a fair amount of questions. But yeah, I'm happy to answer any like world questions, lore questions. If you're curious about the 4 kingdoms, if you're curious about the garden, some of the different ages that have come and gone in Altera, all that stuff. I'm happy to talk about it all. I can just keep mining cobblestone up here till the day is long. So that, or I could travel to the Nether. I do need to get me a blaze rod here eventually, because I'm supposed to travel to the Nether to get the blaze rod so I can make potions, because eventually I want to make a water breathing potion so I can explore the depths of the ocean, because they enhanced Minecraft, guys. There's a lot going on in Minecraft now, if you didn't know. Alright, in an autopsy, which for anybody who doesn't know, the Altera Autopsy is a retrospective bonus podcast that my brother and I, it's sometimes Aaron, Eric, or Kelsey will be on it as well. But it's a retrospective where we dissect that week's podcast, and we talk about what happened, explore some lore behind it, and some of the different things that went on. So in an autopsy, you mentioned that there was more than one way to read the glyphs. Is it only vertical and horizontal? Is this why Dolphin and Joan have different meanings? Good question. I'm going to say that's half of what I meant in that autopsy. I definitely was referring to the way that the glyphs can be read horizontally and vertically. Or, not that they can be, but they can be written horizontal. Oh my goodness. I can't words good, guys. Horizontally or vertically. They can be written that way, but it doesn't mean that they can always be read that way. So glyphs that are written horizontally and clearly are just horizontal are only meant to be read horizontally. Ones that are clearly vertical and are meant to be read vertically. So, however, there will be occasions where horizontal and vertical glyphs coincide, and moments when that happens would be just as the person who's making up this glyph system. So like vertical glyphs are descriptive text, like telling you how something feels or what it's like. Horizontal text is like stories, history. It's bigger than that, if that makes sense. So like a horizontal line would say 10 years ago Josh swung a pickaxe against a stone. Now the stone might, when the symbol for stone shows up, it might be attached to a vertical line of glyphs that are describing the texture of the stone, the density of the stone, how difficult the stone would be to mine. So does that make sense? Or when the symbol for me, like for Josh, shows up, if there's a symbol for Josh, then there could be a vertical line describing who Josh is, where he's from, what kingdom he's a part of, that kind of stuff. I realize that that's kind of vague, but I hope that makes sense. And yes, so here's the deal. Because what was his name? Bubbles or whatever. The priest who or cleric who discovered that kind of broke a lot of the dialect wide open and basically made a lot of room for new interpretations. So different people groups and communities have taken to discerning what the glyphs mean in different ways. So a lot of it is very open to interpretation. A single symbol could have a general sense of meaning, but across different communities and cultures that are coming up with their own ways to read and write the glyphs, they could be totally like deciphering them differently. So I mean, you got to be careful if you're trying to like ascribe meaning to the glyphs, exactly what you're saying. And I think some cultures prefer to stay general and try not to create too much like literal definition for the script, but some probably try really hard to fully define each and every glyph and give it very strong meaning. So that's why you're seeing the monks interpret it differently than the gray priesthood does. So yes, that is why they're different. Question: what's the garden? I forgot about that, but had noticed it while listening. If they're adding bamboo and pandas in Minecraft, I am all on board. I have some. That's sugarcane, I guess. It looks a little bit like bamboo, but I love that. If they're adding like a panda biome, that would be amazing. Okay, the garden. The garden is basically the, for lack of a better word, it's the Eden of Altera. At least that's the way it's referred to. Except humans weren't there, so it was a paradise-like home realm for what I'll call the elder races. So the more fantastical races of the world. Elves, dwarves, what have you. And basically, the histories have it recorded that among the elder races, wars broke out, and they couldn't live in harmony within the garden. So the garden, this peaceful, perfect realm, was just ripped asunder, basically, by war, and tore a rift between that realm and the realm where the humans were living. And these elder races spilled out into Altera, and they're basically, they invaded and conquered and dispersed the human race wherever they found it. And that's when the different fantasy races, we'll just call them, they basically took different parts of Altera as theirs. So the elves took the northern Icelands, the dwarves took the western mountains, the orcs settled in the southern deserts, and the gnomes took that island to the west, the southwest, which is the island we've explored, the Gnome Island, and they've been there for nearly 5,000 years. Oh well, no, not like, probably not 5,000 years. Like there was probably like 1,000 years of like turmoil and chaos before all the races started settling into their kind of given locations. Alright, I need to build some more chests. Do I have wood? Not enough. Oh man, and I need my pickaxes. Alright, buy dirt. And buy dirt. Okay, alright. Let's get up there and get to sleep. Hold on. I'm just gonna get... I had to put it on hard mode, right? So, like, everything I do matters right now. Because you could die real fast in hard mode. Alright, next question. Question. Who was that dude in episode 1 with the beard who ran past everyone in the high command? Great question, Grace. Oh, man. I'm so bummed that no one asked who he was, that they didn't like stop. I as a dungeon master, I pointed him out. I said, this this red-bearded guy runs past you. Here's what I'll tell you guys, because I'm not going to tell you exactly who he is, because that moment passed, and if he comes back up, he comes back up. But so I don't want to ruin any of that. He is a captain. He's another captain for the city of Lestrade, and that's all we get to know, unfortunately. But great catch, good question. And what do we got next? I want to learn more about the nomadic human tribes in the south. Are Relnor and his dad from a different group / lineage? Oh, nice, Aaron. Likely, I'm not gonna like assign Relnor what his family history was. He can kind of choose that. But I will say, typically, humans within the Four Kingdoms at this point are likely have some. They of course have some heritage to the tribal humans from before, but the five kingdoms is the Four Kingdoms. I'm sorry, the Four Kingdoms are over 500 years old, and there's a good chance that that the link to their ancient traditions and people, it was lost. A lot of the elder races that kind of took the dwarves, gnomes, elves, that kind of came in and civilized, quote unquote, the humans, were very intentional about weeding out any of the barbaric culture, they would probably refer to it as. So pretty messed up, but that's part of the history. It is what it is. Next question from Squink. What else can you tell me about red clerics? Ooh. Well, the most I can tell you is that red clerics serve the red god. Or at least they serve what the red god stands for. I think that's the most I can tell you without, giving anything away accidentally. Oh, this is the worst. Hold on. There we go. Okay. If I go like this. No! I want my chests. Gosh darn it. Yes, I got the chest. Okay. So yeah, I wish I could go on more about the red clerics, but what all you really need to know is there's only really one place where worship of the red god is, or even acknowledgement of the red god is allowed, and that's in the military. So when it comes to things of war and combat, worship of the red god. It's kind of seen kind of like, these are people who are going to embrace death, basically. So they're in general, though, outside of like men who are about to die kind of situations, or I'm sorry, warriors who are about to die, men and women, especially in Lestrade, no one would really balk at like a battle-hardened warrior who mentions the red god. However, explicit worship of the red god and service even of the red god is incredibly taboo. It's very like not okay. It's not like they don't expressly like declare that it's an evil thing out loud in the public, but it definitely has the connotation that these people are, red god. Like if you really wanted to like shame someone's reputation, one way you could besmirch their good name is to declare them servants of the red god. Okay, I know it's not D&D related, but what is your favorite subject to preach a sermon about? I think if I'm preaching, because for anybody who doesn't know, I'm a part-time pastor, and my favorite stuff to talk about is I love talking about value and purpose, because I think a lot of people are walking through life feeling like they don't matter. I also really enjoy talking about the way this is the way we contextualize chaos. So like we all have chaos in our lives. We're all dealing with chaos, and in order to deal with it, you have to bring chaos into context. And so we define things and people and groups, but what can be dangerous is when we start to take how we categorize those groups and put locks on what defines them and start to establish trends because that's what that group does. Fill in the blank legitimately with whatever you want it to be. That's one of my favorite things to talk about. The way we contextualize chaos, I think, is I like talking about those things because I think they matter. That's kind of why I don't like talking about stuff that doesn't matter. That's if I'm gonna be doing that. Okay, I looked it up, and the pandas in Bamboo are still in beta, but coming out soon. Woo! Awesome. I'm gonna be looking out for those Bamboo pandas. Next question. Did the Titans happen after the Garden? If so, around how long ago? So here's something you should all know. Nobody knows what Titans are in the modern day. Like, Titans are part of what I'm referring to as the storyteller, as the dungeon master, the forgotten histories of Altera. So in that, and I really only mentioned them in that intro text that I kind of narrate, where he says, long ago in the forgotten histories of Altera, terrible creatures were unleashed upon the world, and those terrible creatures are the Titans, and the Titans were released in the forgotten histories. The Garden is the beginning of the known histories. So if that makes sense, the Garden is the beginning of the known histories. So all of the histories after the Garden is what everyone remembers and knows, or at least they have oral or written memory of, but no one remembers anything before the Garden. All right. Next question. I'm loving the podcast. I was so excited. Oh, Woody Young. Hey, man, what's up? When you came out with this setting and story, keep up the great work. Oh, thanks. Not a question, but that's. Hey, you're always welcome to say what you think. Sir Craig of the UK says, when you said 5 kingdoms, was it a mistake, or did you accidentally mention something that did you mean? That was a mistake. There aren't 5 kingdoms. It's the 4 kingdoms. So that's it. 4 kingdoms. Was not like subtly alluding to something. Oh gosh, I don't want to have that kind of power where little slip-ups can mean something. Question, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your favorite color of the alphabet? 14, actually, surprisingly. Yeah, you wouldn't think that, but yeah. Smash Bear. Hey, what's up, Smash Bear? What would have happened if Winnie and Bordeaux had gone to prison? Is it a sea prison? I mean, it's probably as close to a sea prison as you're going to get outside of being on an actual ship. They would have been taken to the brig, basically, or not the brig, the jails, actually, of Lestrade, and they would have been put. Bordeaux would have been put away. He would have been put. They were going to put him in a he would technically be in the process of being ejected from Lestrade. So by doing that, they would have locked him away in some dungeon, and until they were able to process him, until they finished everything else they needed to do and were able to kind of process him out of Lestrade, there he would stay. So unfortunately, because there's a lot of conflict between Lestrade and orc pirate tribes, there's a good chance he may have just been left there or forgotten there and eventually just die in those cells. So he likely there's a chance, because he was Donnie's right-hand guy, I think there's a fair chance that he would have eventually been processed and released. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Raving Hazard? Welcome. Winnie would have been put to the question by the lead questioner of who is actually a white priest. So, but we didn't get to meet him because she didn't go to the prison. Next question: what kind of advice do you have for burgeoning DM? For a burgeoning DM, what does burgeoning mean? I don't know that word. I'm gonna assume you mean like a new DM. Burgeoning DM. Whoa, so intense. Advice for a burgeoning DM. Have fun. It's really easy as a dungeon master to stop having fun and get super caught up in the details of what's required of you as the dungeon master. I think really ultimate goal, above all goals, is that your players enjoy their experience, and a big part of that is making sure you're enjoying the experience. I think, don't take yourself too seriously. It's not about telling your story, quote unquote. Even for me, while I take storytelling very seriously, I'm much more interested in making sure that Kelsey, Eric, Aaron, and Ricky are having fun, that they're enjoying the experience and the process, especially because 3 of them are new to podcasting, and I'm not interested in like dumping a big, weighty, serious process on them. I want them to be able to have fun and enjoy. If the podcast fails, I want us to at least enjoy the game. So that's my ultimate goal. But I understand that as a dungeon master, it can get easy to start to take yourself very seriously and want to tell a very epic story, and you can get frustrated at your players when they hurt your ability to tell that epic story. But yeah, have fun and look out for your players. You're not just there to play. You're also there to kind of make sure everyone gets to play and have fun. So it can be really easy for one really loud player who's very familiar with the rules to kind of take over the game, but as a dungeon master, you need to look out for your players and the little guy, and make sure if there's someone who's having trouble being part of the dialogue, if there's someone who's having trouble role playing, give them room, let them focus on them for a little while, and yeah, it's just that'd be some stuff I would say. For the burgeoning DM. John Lewis, when you build a world, what is the first thing you start with? Geography? History? Geography. Yeah, I start with geography. I like to create the map and then start deciding what goes on the map. That's kind of how I started this one. So I started with the map. I started deciding. It's like, okay, here are the 4 kingdoms, and I'm gonna have race-specific kingdoms as well, kind of outside those. But then I decided that like one history wasn't enough, and I wanted there to be a forgotten history. So I made the world even older. But yeah, that's how I started. Yeah. Will we get to see the map at some point? I mean, yeah, I could. It's a terrible map, guys. It's like the cheesiest world map I could draw. I'm slowly and arduously creating actual like gridded maps for all of the cities and everything, but and then I plan to go out and make a gridded map of the actual place itself, but that takes a lot of time. So, but yeah, I'll maybe even tonight before I go to bed or something, I'll snap a quick picture of the little stupid drawn map I have and give it a post at that request. If that's something you guys would like. Hey, Ethan, what's up, man? Welcome. I hope that's how you say your name, and I hope that wasn't like insulting the way that I said it. And will they have correctly spelled place names? Well, they don't have place names right now. I just have little symbols on them, and that's it. Yeah, thanks, Craig. I'll make sure I edit out the 5th kingdom. Good grief. Don't make that a thing, guys. Please don't make 5th kingdom a thing. I don't want to do that. What is your favorite video game? I mean, this one's pretty up there. Like, Minecraft is my desert island game. If I had to pick a game that is the only game I could play for the rest of my life, this would be the one. But if we're talking about just games that I adore and admire, Shadow of the Colossus is probably my number 1. I really love a lot of old PlayStation games. Really looking forward to Spyro, the remaster. Super excited to play that. Hashtag 5th Kingdom. Yeah, that was... we're making it a thing, I guess. Oh, thanks, On One Box. Stuhate. Appreciate that. It says, love your videos, man. What gave you the idea of giving the gnomes German accents? So funny, by the way. Oh, thank you very much. That's very nice. That was not German at all. I was trying to do German, but I'm terrible at accents, guys. What made me decide to do German? Okay, so here's the deal. I originally had planned for the gnomes to just have normal voices. I was probably going to try and make them a whole bunch of gnomes that sounded like Winnie's dad. But the players were bringing so much life to their characters that I felt really strongly that the world kind of had to catch up. That the world needed to be just as colorful and fun as our 4 heroes are. So we had recently hung out with some German relatives, and Ulf and Susanna, who I very much love. They're wonderful people, and I decided to make the gnomes talk. I made Truffle basically. His voice is my best impression of Ulf, who is a great guy. So I hope if he ever hears that voice or hears about me doing it, he takes it as a compliment, because it really is. He's a sweet guy who I very much enjoy. They gave me and Kelsey for Christmas 2 years back the German version of Settlers of Catan, which is awesome. But yeah, they are the best, and we love them, and they will always be in our hearts because they are good family, and we will never forget them because of how sweet and kind and loving they are. Yeah. All right. Do you like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? Love Let's Go Pikachu, hate Let's Go Eevee. Let's just put it right there. I'm just kidding. I actually have no opinion. Oh my gosh, the Truffle Bundle stream. Hello everyone, I'm Truffle Bundle, and we are playing the Minecraft, where we will mine, and we will dig, and I have a stick. And sometimes we try to mine with the stick. It doesn't work though because the stick is bad. So we do the I can't keep that up, guys. That's too hard. I could probably do like the Irish dwarf, the Scottish dwarf stream. All right. Let's mine. Let's turn these stones into something worthwhile. Let's break it down. I'm gonna tear down this whole mountain and build it into a kingdom of stone. And everyone will come before me and say, "Oh, look at that stone kingdom." Yeah, that's what you do. That's what you're supposed to do. That's right. I'm a miner. Anyway. I could do that. A dwarf mining stream. Yeah. Great. Oh, it's getting night. Is it nighttime yet? Nope. See, being on the mountain is the worst because I don't know where the sun is to setting. So when you're like on water level, it's really easy to see when the sun's setting, but when you're this high up, it's kind of hard to tell. All right. Any other questions? Questions about Titans or whatever? What is your plan with the hilltop you're working on in Minecraft? I'm using this hilltop. I'm turning this mountain, which used to be really a lot higher than this. I'm turning it in. I'm using it for materials to help keep enhancing my little village that I found. That's what I'm tearing this mountain, this hill that used to be a mountain, because I've destroyed half of it already. So I think I have like 13 layers left to go. Like if I go 13 layers down, once I cut off 13 layers of this thing, we'll have it down low enough that it will really just be a little uprising and not even a hill. How long did it take you to perfect that accent? I'm guessing you're referring to the dwarf one. That's the only one I feel like I'm confident in. I mean, probably like a couple years of just goofing around talking like that in my D&D games. I also listened to a bunch of The Legend of Do'Urden books by R.A. Salvatore. I listened to a bunch of those on Audible, and the guy who does the voice of Brunner Battlehammer, it's kind of like a combination of Brunner Battlehammer's voice along with Gimli's voice. It's kind of which, let's be honest, every dwarf in any fantasy is also Gimli. So pretty hard to separate him from all of them. All right, next question. The Gnome Kingdom does seem very warlike. Were they warlike in the past? Ish. Yeah, they were somewhat warlike, but it wasn't warlike in the sense that I feel like the term warlike really denotes a lot of violence and brute strength. For the gnomes, during their kind of conquest of Altera, before they kind of discovered their island, a lot of it was tactical prowess, and they would outthink their opponents. They enslaved quite a bit of humans and used them as fodder for some of their more brutal assaults. But yeah, there's each of the races kind of has like a very dark history in relation to mankind, to humankind. So that's kind of in the back of everything. That's why Alestria is referred to as the People's Kingdom, because it's the only kingdom in the Four Kingdoms with a human in charge, the Queen. But yeah, the gnomes were they were more strategic, and they were not like they were not like the like orcs or dwarves or even elves, where they just like had a military that just drove. They were much more tactical and would make and break alliances as needed to get what they were after. Hey, what's up, David Early? Welcome to the stream. Let's see here. Any other questions here? What do we got? What is the hardest part about DMing for your wife and family? Okay, the hardest part about DMing for my wife and family is that I think it's easy for them to kind of mow over me, because we're family, you know what I mean? And they all know I'm a goofball, and they know I like to laugh, and so there are times where the typical, I think, authority that a dungeon master would have, I don't have. I can kind of be pushed over a little easily, because, you know, it's my older brother, it's my wife. They kind of, I wouldn't say they push me over. I would say, like, it's almost like I let myself be pushed over, because I don't really bear over them as a DM. So it's like a combination of two. That's the hardest part, is sometimes I just lose control of the group, and usually that's like super fun. I don't have really any problem with it. Just as a dungeon master trying to move things along, that can be a little difficult to manage. That's all I would say to that. Smash Bear says, in some Titan video you said to draw some fan art on a Godzilla-like creature. You said to draw some fan art on a Godzilla-like creature. Is that Titan the one attacking the city on the sea? I don't think I can answer that question. I'm not entirely sure what you're asking. I'm assuming it has to do with the latest episode, but I'm not going to go even if it's in the context of the latest episode. I can't answer that. Sorry, Smash Bear. Keep smashing. But yeah, I'll yeah, I wish I could. Sorry. How do you donate? Omwrecker. Onwrecker5. Welcome, or hello. And we have Syria de Flora. How do you donate? You can, I think the best way you could donate, if you really want to donate, is we have a store on our website. If you go to thetitanpod.com/merch, you can buy yourself a t-shirt, get some stickers. That's a great way to donate. Another way you could donate is if you wanted to join our Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/thetitanpod, and we've got some different Patreon subscription levels there. That's a great way if you want to donate on like a recurring level. At the $5 level, you get access to our 15-minute post show that we record after every episode, as well as the Altera Autopsy, which is our retrospective podcast where we break down each episode after the fact. So those would be the best ways you could donate if you wanted to. I guess I could look into setting up just like a general PayPal donation button, if that's what you'd prefer. But yeah, so there's that. Okay, next question. What tips do you have for editing podcast audio? My group may be starting our own podcast next year, and half the group is across the pond. The most important thing, and it's not a must, but I think it will go a long way towards helping, would be to record on separate audio channels. That makes a really big difference, in my opinion. That was a world of difference for us when we started podcasting. So you're able to kind of bring people up if they're being quiet, and take people down if they're being too loud. That's some of the best advice I can give. Other advice is edit with what you know. So there are going to be people out there that tell you got to have Audacity, or you got to have, name your expensive audio editing software. Edit with what you know how to edit. If all you know is the generic Windows editor, or all you know is iMovie, there's absolutely nothing wrong with editing within those platforms. I think you can achieve a level of mastery in free software. There's just certain limitations that come with free software that industry standards will allow for, but I think a lot of it is just more. I think a good clean edit has more to do with the time investment than the tools, if that makes sense. If you're willing to put enough time in, you can make something really nice. The RSS feed is such a blessing. Glad you like that, Craig. That was a cool find. That was Reed, my buddy Reed, shared that one with me. Any of you who are Sneak Attack fans know who he is. And what kind of dog do you have? I have a Great Pyrenees, and her name's Appa, and she's the best. We love her like crazy. She's our big, gentle giant, our big polar bear. She's awesome. So, great dog. Love that dog. Let's see here. If you are using voice chat to talk to people across the pond... Oh, this is from Craig. If you're using voice chat to talk to people across the pond, get them to make a recording on their computer in case the audio from the voice chat cuts out or isn't good. Then send it over to you. Yes, that's great. That's great advice. If you guys are playing over a streaming connection or on like Roll20 or something, yes, I think it's important that wherever everyone is, that they record their audio separately. That they actually record their audio where they're at from their own mic on their computer, and then send that audio to you to the editor afterwards. Good advice. Good catch there, Craig. Thanks, man. Smash Bear. It's all right. Another question. Do you think you're driving the story a bit, like sending Winnie to jail and turning Joan, getting the tattoo plague? No offense. You still do an amazing job at DMing. Thanks, Smash Bear. Absolutely. I think it's completely fair for anyone to say that for these first, I'm going to say 10 episodes, the game is kind of on what I call soft rails. So a lot of that's because I felt like it was important that before we kind of started the campaign, technically, that the players, as well as the audience, you guys, were able to get context for the world and the city of Lestrade, and kind of understand these characters' homeland and where they're coming from. So a lot of times in podcast D&D stories, we jump right into the D&D adventure, and you meet in a tavern, and you start. You're in an inn or a bar, and you're given a quest, and you go on your quest, and you all get together, and the party gets together really quick, and then there we go. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I think it's incredibly. It's a great way to start. I mean, the D&D writers of old, that's how they would start adventures, so there's nothing wrong with it. But for me, I wanted to kind of approach the storytelling from a unique angle, and what that ended up meaning was I wanted to create in Act 1 before we jump into the rising action of Act 2. So these first kind of 10 episodes are basically we're establishing the story. And so from this point, we've recorded 10 episodes now, and from this point, a lot of it's going to be on the players to decide where they go, what they do, and the why behind what they're doing. But yeah, finally joined. Hey, Honda Totoru, hey, welcome. We also got Pyroflame is here. Man, I'm loving seeing all these names in the stream. So yeah, it's been on soft rails is what I call it. Now, I'm paying very close. I want to make it clear. I'm paying very close attention to my players, and I'm doing everything I can to make sure that they still feel a sense of agency in the world. And so constantly checking up with them, asking them what they're thinking, how their character's feeling, what their character's dealing with. And so all of those conversations that I'm having with Eric, Aaron, Kelsey, and Ricky are informing the direction of the story, the different things that are going to happen. So I did not write out my Dungeon Master notes for all 10 episodes. I didn't realize it would take 10 episodes. My hope was that it would take like 4 or 5, but I grossly underestimated the fun we would have and the time certain things would take. So yeah, that's what I'll say to that. Above anything else, I want to make sure that those guys are having fun, that they're enjoying the game, and that they feel like their decisions matter, because they do. So even though it's on soft rails, I'm treating it a lot like a choose your own adventure book, where they get to make decisions. There's like, eventually all roads will lead to blank, but the different ways they get to blank can be different. So, you know, there's some characters they never met because they made certain choices. There's certain events that happened because of the way they decided to approach things. And so the whole way that the podcast has played out thus far could have gone completely different. So, and good gosh, guys, episodes 8, 9, and 10, just like... I don't know if you're able to tell by episode 8, but things spiral out of my control so fast, and it ends up being one of the best things, but most unexpected things that was completely brought about and created by the players. So yeah, my goal above anything else was to make sure that they're having fun and that they feel a sense of agency. So but yeah, it's on soft rails is what I call it. So there is some directing as far as what I'm doing as the DM to kind of push them in a certain direction with the world building. Let's see here. Do you like homebrew campaigns or pre-made campaigns better? I like them both. Personally, if I'm DMing an ongoing group, like a group that's going to keep meeting week after week, I personally prefer to do homebrew, because I think for me it feels better when you're playing a long form campaign to do something homebrew that you can be flexible with. However, I think if you're starting out or if you're a new dungeon master, I think those pre-made campaign settings and games are really, really great, and you should take advantage of them. And I think if you just feel like doing homebrew is kind of burning you out, those pre-made adventures are a great way to like not have to invest a ton of emotion or time. Yeah. So, let me see here. Any other questions? Finally joined. I very much like the idea of starting characters at level 3 with a backstory of their own, which I assume covers the key stuff. The key stuff you from being level 3. Yeah, I started the players, which I didn't make this clear enough in the show, but yeah, the players start at level 3 in Titans of Altera. So episode 1, the players are level 3 already. So I a lot of times I think in D&D games, even the D&D games that I've DM'd, people create these characters that have history and experience, and I'm a master assassin who's killed hundreds of people and is 80 years old, but I'm level 1 because we just started the game, and so it kind of creates this weird contradiction. This feels like let me see here. I think we might have someone on here that's not really here. Give me un moment, everybody. Let me get to my channel here. And I don't think we need to be talking about flip coin. There we go. All right. Let's see here. Where are we at here? Thanks, Josh and Craig. I'll talk to the DM about the backup recordings. We use Discord, so play around the recording before session 0. Alright, see you, Craig. Thanks for hanging out, man. Is there a class you would want to play in the future? Is there a D&D class I would want to play in the future? Let me think here. Class I'd want to play in the future. Gosh, I've played so much D&D. I'm trying to think what classes I haven't played. I'd like to play a paladin, I think. I think a paladin would be fun. I don't think I've ever played a paladin, actually. Yeah, I'd like to play a paladin. A paladin, or one of the new kinds of monks that they've come out with, and from some of the new books that have come out. I think that would be fun. I like monks. Monks are cool. Alright. Next question. What should you do if you want to play D&D but don't have any friends who want to play? Grace, there's a lot of options, actually. Some of them are more awkward than others. One of them is convince some of your friends to try it out. Convince some of your close friends to just give it a shot, and you dungeon master. Likely you'll have to dungeon master, and just see if you get anybody into it. That's a great way to start. Another way, if you don't want to dungeon master, would be to go to some of those online role-playing group sites like Roll20 or Forge. I think there's some kind of Forge something. One is another one. Yeah, those places are great. You can actually set up kind of what kind of times you prefer to play, the type of group you're looking for, or you can just look and see what kind of groups are kind of posted and see if there's a group you can connect with. Another option, which is probably the more out of your comfort zone and could be potentially very awkward but could be great, would be a local game store. A lot of local game stores have D&D nights or role-playing nights where people can just show up, or you can sign up for a kind of, D&D does a lot of, they do a lot of specific stuff for local game stores to participate in, with kind of unique ways to play within the Forgotten Realms and all that. I think they call them league games, so you could see if your local game store has a D&D league that you could join. So those are kind of some of the options. All right. They've gotten a lot. So those digital platforms have gotten a lot better over the years. Oh, Craig's not leaving, everybody. He's just tired. All right. Do you think players choosing odd races can cause issues for a DM? I want to play a centaur monk, but there will be issues, I feel. Oh, Craig, you got the heart of a Danny. Let me think here. It has. You got to talk to your DM, Craig. That's all I would say. Like, there's nothing wrong with playing a controversial race or a race that like will cause a lot of tension in the story or with the players. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I think. Did you say a centaur monk? That is such an oxymoron. Get it? Because a centaur is like a bull or an ox with a person body. Anyway, yeah. Just talk to your dungeon master and make sure it's okay with him or her, because that's all that really matters at the end of the day. All right. What else we got? What else we got here? Paladins are dope. Yup. Currently playing a paladin / warlock combo. How does that work? Is your patron also your god you worship? See here. There's also meetup if you want to try and find a group of people. Warhorn is another. Guessing those are a couple different online ones. TM Josh, what is your favorite monster? Hashtag rip Arnold. Let me see here. My favorite monster. I don't know if I have a favorite. I'll say one of my favorites are the Mephits. I think they're super fun, and they all kind of have a theme, like kind of a different element theme. So the Mephits are really fun, and I once made a one-shot dungeon that was a bunch of different layers of this kind of like dome, and each layer was built of different elements, and all the elements coincided with two types of Mephits, and so the players had to complete the different kind of elemental challenge of that level of the dome, while also dealing with the elemental Mephits that were on that level. That was a fun one-shot dungeon. All right. Oh, Centaur is the horse human. That's right. I was getting confused with the Minotaur. Yeah, there could be some issues with being a Centaur. That you should talk to your DM. Yeah, I've never heard of a Centaur being a player. Wow. Ooh, Tabaxi Shadow Monk. That sounds cool. I really want to play one of those monks that basically is a character from Dragon Ball Z. Like they can fire energy blasts out of their hands. I think it came with the Sword Coast Adventurers Guide. I think it was part of that book expansion. But yeah, non-conventional characters can be a lot of fun. 100%. One of my favorite characters I ever played was on Sneak Attack. We did a one-shot for Wizards of the Coast called Dino 210, and I played what was it called? I played a bugbear named Moog. Moog. Oh my goodness. That's great. Moog's great. Go Moog. Am I right? Am I right? Hey, does anybody know how long I've been streaming at this point? Does anybody know how long we've been? I really wasn't watching the time. I have a lot of writing to do tonight and stuff I have to we're recording. We're doing another recording session tomorrow night, so I need to do some writing. Let's see here. I'm DMing a space RPG game. Two of my player characters currently have a love-hate relationship. I'm trying to watch and make sure that it is only the characters. Any ideas or thoughts? Oh my gosh, I don't know how to speak to that. Gosh. What do you mean when you say love-hate? Like they're like playfully... Oh no! Did I just fall? Oh. I was just walking without looking. That was scary, guys. I thought I was like falling indefinitely there for a second. Love, hate. You might need to explain that more. I'm not sure I understand exactly. I mean, yeah, I've never played with people who aren't like in established relationships. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, I think hopefully it wouldn't get in the way of the actual gameplay, would be what I would say. I got to talking to my DM and managed to get permission to play an actual dog. Wow. Let's see here. Any other questions? About an hour 15, I think. Okay, that's fine. I'll probably keep going for a little bit. If you got permission, you should go for a Craig. Yeah, about an hour and 15. Okay. Yeah, if it's come to the place where the characters are about to start like PvPing in your game, honestly, I don't think PvP is necessarily bad. It just really depends on the temperament of the group. So if these like two characters are monopolizing all of the game time by being angry with each other and wanting to fight each other, and it's clear that the rest of the group is not enjoying it or participating, you know, you might need to put a kibosh on it with each of them kind of privately. Just go, hey, we need to stop doing the weird fight thing. Not everybody's into it, and it's kind of taking away from the fun for everyone else. Those conversations can be hard, but they can be really good conversations to have. But yeah, if everybody's into it, like if everybody's having fun and everyone's it's entertaining, or you know, like no one's being like being rude to each other, or like being like blatantly mean or anything. It's just for fun and they're enjoying it. Like yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But yeah, those are my thoughts. And I'm Josh, the Dungeon Master. Am I doing another Q&A live stream soon? This was really fun. Yeah, I think we'll do this kind of somewhat regularly. I'm enjoying it myself. So yeah, I don't know why we wouldn't. So yeah, especially if you guys keep having questions you want to ask. So I'm happy to. Hey, Matthew. Grittlestone. I'm terrible at talking and mining at the same time. I'm deconstructing a mountain to help enhance my village over there. So it's just nonsensical, unimportant work I can do while answering questions from you guys. So, any specific times for another stream? Unfortunately, I don't think I can. It's probably going to have to remain an impromptu stream. Kind of just when it happens, it happens. I'll try and give a heads up if I feel like, hey, I think we're going to do another impromptu stream this weekend or something like that. So just keep your eyes out for impromptu streams. Let's see here. A lot of letters. But yeah, I'll try and give a longer heads up next time I do a stream. But yeah, I really enjoy it, and the more people we can have in, the better. I like all the questions. Are there any online or computer tools you use when world building to keep things organized, or do you do good old-fashioned paper and pencil notebook? Yeah, I have a Google Doc folder filled with Google Docs. That's basically what I do. So I just have a just Google Docs that's just filled with tons of different notes, stats, adventures, all that stuff. Hey, we got a German on board. Hey, what's up, Leonardo? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Welcome. Oh, I'm glad you're here. I'm a fan of Germans. I got a lot of German in me, so got to go for lunch. This has been good fun. See you next time and keep doing what you're doing, Josh. Great work. Thanks, Smash Bear. Have a good lunch, man. It's like 8:23 p.m. where I'm at. Are we going to learn more about Donnie? I have a theory that certain important people were killed, not just politically important. Interesting. Yeah, I can say definitively you will learn more about Donnie's death in the future. But I'm not going to tell you what you're going to learn. So, but yeah, Donnie's death was not a strange... there are reasons that it happened that we'll learn about in the future, but I'm not going to. I will speak no further to that. Have you played on the Second D's server? I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. Anyway, whoa, Craig, go to bed, man. Holy cow. Alright. We are removing this guy. I can't believe I fell for that. There we go. Alright. I need to get a mod. I need one of you guys to be a mod for me. Get rid of these random randos that just jump in to be weird. I'm very much not a streamer. Just happy to hang out with you guys and answer some questions for a little while. Any other questions, guys? Let's see here. I think we took down one full layer of this thing. Currently multitasking. Oh no, that's cool, Cass. It's all good. I think I can manage it right now. Just got to keep my eye on it. Don't want to look away and then some bozos going nuts in the chat. Have you played any games on the Switch? No, but I want to. Oh, the Switch seems so cool. Yeah, I get hyped about Nintendo. I like what Nintendo does. Any conscious decision to decide between YouTube and Twitch? Mainly because we already have a YouTube. That's the main reason. Titans already has a YouTube, so I figured I would just continue to use an established platform. Hey, what's up, Danny? The symbols for the gray and the white god. Yeah, the red god. The red god's symbols are a centaur's horn and I think a red blade, if I remember correctly. The white god's symbols are a white teardrop, I think. Or if I'm remembering that correctly. No, yeah, it's the... Oh, gosh. I have it written down somewhere, guys. I have it written down somewhere. The Grey God's a book. Maybe it's a Red Fang. Maybe it's a Red Fang is the... And a White Teardrop. I honestly don't remember. Off the top of my head, I have it written down. Oh, a White Sun and a Raindrop. Yeah. That's what it is. Fangs and horns. That's right. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's what I thought. And the gray is like, is it a book? Is that right? I really appreciate you guys who take notes on the show. I have all this stuff written down, but my brain can't remember it, so I'd have to look it up. It's funny. Ah, gotcha. Listen to that for some theories. My favorite non-fantasy book. Whew. That was a toughie. I'm pretty sure we talked about the gods, the three gods, on episode 5, A Ruinous Encounter. I'm pretty sure that's where I kind of gave a little bit of lore to them to give some context to how certain things might be viewed. Favorite non-fantasy literature. I gotta think about that. I really enjoyed the book Good to Great. How to turn a good business into a great business. I liked a lot of the principles that were talked about in that book. I found Sun Tzu's The Art of War very informative. It's a pretty, interesting book. He talks about it as the door was being described in episode 3. Oh, okay. Dude, The Emperor's Blades. That's a great book series. But that's fantasy as well, though. I listen to more I partake of fantasy stories way more than nonfiction, for sure. But yeah, the Emperor's Blades trilogy is a masterpiece. Brian Staveley, man, put him on the map. That guy, great writer. Yeah, I legitimately think he's one of the best writers I've ever read in my life. Those books are fantastic. Love them. It's good stuff. Yeah, if you've never read the Chronicles of the Unhewn Throne, you owe yourself giving that a read. It's so stinking good. Any recommendations in this directions? I'm so craving this kind of stuff. Other fantasy books? Let me think here. If you liked The Emperor's Blades, then you might also like... Let me think here. I mean, the truth is, I think some of the best fantasy writing that currently exists right now is The Name of the Wind and A Wise Man's Fear. The only bummer is that Patrick Rothfuss, the author of those books, hasn't finished them yet. It's a trilogy that's unfinished, and it's remained unfinished for almost, I think, over 7 years. Yeah. I've never actually read the Narnia books. So I can't speak to their how good or bad they are, but I mean, C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis is a great writer, so likely they're very good. Trying to think what other like trilogy, like the Brian Staveley books, is out there. Oh, you know what? Ooh! I got one, guys. I got one that you're gonna like because it's coming out. I know. Have you ever read Riddlemaster of Head trilogy? No, I haven't. Oh, I need to sleep. It's night time. What are you doing? Get inside. Monsters are coming. By the way, I only play on survival hard mode. Just so you guys know. Let me think here. Narnia, those books have stood the test of time. I'm sure the Narnia books are wonderful books. I never read them. I don't know why. I don't know why I never read them, but I never did. You'd think I would have. But Brandon Sanderson. Okay. Plugged my headphones. Sorry, everybody. Accidentally unplugged the headphones. I'm back. Brandon Sanderson has a series. Let me look it up. Give me a moment, everyone. I like talking about fantasy books because they're fun. And I like to read them and tell people about the ones that I read because it's fun to share things you like. Okay. What's this series called? Hold on. View book details. Book 1 of the Stormlight Archive. Okay, anyone who's taking notes, you want a really fun fantasy book by an author who is tested and proven and incredibly good. A series that I personally very much enjoyed and might have some influence on some of the things I'm doing in Titans of Altera. The Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson is a great book to check out. The Stormlight Archive, the first book in the Stormlight Archive series is The Way of Kings. Brandon Sanderson kind of came to real prominence when he finished off the Wheel of Time series that was started by Robert Jordan. He wrote the last 3 books, which were some of the best books in the entire series. And he did an incredibly job stewarding that series to its end, which is very honorable. Stormlight Archive. Okay, so it's ongoing, which means that he's still writing it. Brandon Sanderson's still writing it. There are, I think, 3 books out right now. He came out with The Way of Kings in 2010. Then Words of Radiance was released in 2014. And Oathbringer was released in 2017. I'm looking to see if there's any... there's not even any... The next book in the Stormlight Archives looks like it's supposed to come out in 2020. that's something to look forward to, everyone, in 2 years. Really, like, getting closer to a year now. But yeah, those 3 books are freaking fun and super great. So yeah, if you're looking for a fantasy recommendation, an ongoing fantasy that's still being written and is super creative and has wonderful characters and great story, yeah, the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson, starting with The Way of Kings, then The Words of Radiance, and then Oathbringer. So, great world building, great story. Any last question, guys? I'm going to probably end the stream here soon, so any last questions? Any last questions you want to throw at me? There's a book series called The Edge Chronicles that I think was written for kids, but is written so well about a world that's so well thought out and expounded on that it holds up extremely well. Still one of my favorite series. So that's from Honda Toru 14. Cool. Fantasy steampunk. Nice. I like me some fantasy steampunk. I'm actually collaboratively working on world building a campaign setting in a fantasy steampunk world with some buddies. But that's a side project that isn't anywhere near complete. Anyway, this has been really fun, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Have a wonderful night. Really enjoying hanging out with you guys and doing the stream. We'll definitely do this again. If you haven't yet, please check out the Titans of Altera. And if you're a fan of the Titans of Altera, please give our Patreon a check. See if there's anything on there you might be interested in. It's at patreon.com/TheTitanPod. We've also got a t-shirt and stickers of the characters, which is really fun, that you can check out on our website at TheTitanPod.com. So you can go there, check out the shirt, check out that stuff. Anyway, guys, thanks again for hanging out. This was really fun. We will most certainly do it again. Until next time, I will see you guys on the Titans of Altera. And hold on. Pay no attention to the man behind the screen. He's forgotten how to stop the broadcast. Oh, why is this so hard? There we go. Okay, bye everybody. Bye.